Welcome to Unwritten Stories of Significance. I am so happy, so delighted to have on tonight a young, handsome student attending McMaster University who plays for the Marauders basketball. And I fell upon his story through another one of his friends, Kwazi Adu Poku. And his story is going to inspire you. It's going to let you know what you can do. It's going to let you know that you can overcome things. So with no further ado, I'd like to introduce to you Brandon Bernard. Hi, Brandon.
Hello, hello. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. You are so welcome, hon. So welcome to Unwritten Stories of Significance. I was so happy when you accepted the invitation to come on, and your great friend Kwazi. In fact, Kwazi was the one that started it.
For sure, yeah. He
you
was.
know, yeah, he goes, and yeah, you can tell he has a true heart for you, hon. True heart, true heart. So, no further ado, my love, I know all about you, but our viewers don't. So, if you could just introduce yourself, that would be awesome.
For sure. Hello, everyone. My name is Brandon Bernard. I'm in my fifth year of communication studies at McMaster University. As Joy said, I do play for the McMaster men's basketball team, also for 5 years since I first came there. Um, yeah, I mean, I'm a kid from Toronto that is just really like happy to see and learn a bunch of new things. Some, I guess, fun facts about me. I'm avid reader. I love knowledge. Love learning different things. I love traveling, and I really enjoy museums. That's another super cool fact that I don't think a lot of people really know about me, just because of the historical knowledge that I found. I find that can be found in them. So, yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Awesome, my love. Oh my gosh. Okay, we're going to try and touch upon the museum part because I'm from England and I don't think there is any other museum in the world. I haven't traveled as much, but is like the British History Museum. But anyway, we'll try and fit that in. We'll try and fit that in, huh? So 23 years old, right?
Indeed.
On your first way out there, 5 years at McMaster. How does that feel?
It's great actually. It's bittersweet, I want to say. I'm super excited to graduate and see what the world has in store for me. But at the same time, I've spent so much time at Mac and I've grown such a connection to it that it's going to be tough to actually walk away and leave the place that I've called home for the last 5 years. Half a decade is a really long time, and it's especially when you've really got committed to the community and to a lot of the people that are within it. It's tough to walk away from it, but I know it's something that has to be done, and I'm willing to do it, and I'm excited to do it at the same time.
You will have major success, my friend. The oldest of five children.
Indeed.
And you shared a very touching story with me, and I'd like you to share that with our viewers, please, because I know your mom holds a special place in your heart.
Yes, she
So,
does.
yes, my love. What's her name, by the way?
Kareen.
Kareen. Well, Kareen's going to hear this and she's going to see this. So,
Yeah,
if you can
no, for
share,
sure.
oh, no, she will, hon. She will for sure. So, if you can share your story, what it was like growing up, the oldest of five, that was all, what was the all boys or was there,
All boys, that's correct.
God bless her.
No, for sure. God bless her for sure. Yeah, I mean, growing up, um, I have a really close part in my heart that I hold my mother to, because of all the sacrifices that she made for my siblings and I, growing up. I mean, raising five boys is no easy feat, let alone like by herself as well. Like, so I mean, growing up, it was always just us, and in having that connection with my mom, it's kind of like grown over the years because as I've grown up, I've also been able to appreciate and understand a lot of the things that she had to actually go through while raising a lot of us. So I definitely I give so much respect and so much kudos to her, and I tell her every day. But growing up with as the oldest of like five boys, like I kind of put like this weight on my shoulder that sometimes my mom tells me that I don't necessarily need to, but I do regardless because I just want to show my brothers the best situation going forward, and just being able to take leaps of faith and working hard and whatnot, and really just showing how much hard work and perseverance actually goes. And it's just setting that table and setting that example is something that I try and do every day with a lot of my actions. So
Well, you're doing it, honey. You're doing it right now, giving back to your peers. So this is beautiful. I'm going to go there because it was something that you shared with me. Now, I lived in Scarborough when I first came to Canada. And you title it at the time, like now it's even, I think, even tougher, like just different areas of it. But you labeled it the marginalized area.
For sure.
And if you can just share that because it's important. I want to get this message out to the ones that feel like that they can't move on from where they are, but you are a strong role model for them. So share your story there, please, Brandon.
Yeah, I mean, me growing up in somewhat, in I'm not gonna say somewhat, in a marginalized community, you're privy to a lot of different things. A lot of things that I wouldn't say that uh, regular people living in different suburban areas might be privy to seeing, and that can have different effects on different people. But I want to say that those experiences that you might experience while being in a marginalized community don't have to define who you are as a person, and you shouldn't let it define you as a person. Maybe take maybe you could take like the grit and the perseverance and like the rough edges from it and add it to your character, but use it as a way to kind of push forward in any endeavors that you actually undertake in your life, as opposed to letting it kind of consume you and keep you in that spot in which you're in. And that's something that I kind of tried to do. I had some mentors who, like growing up and whatnot, that kind of showed me like the ability of what it means to take different opportunities and see different things and leave certain situations when they're meant to be left. So um, that's kind of what I kind of take from being in that kind of situation and just growing up in it and seeing a number of these things every single day, because uh, it would have been super easy for me to be consumed by it and kind of fall into what it kind of meant to be from the hood, quote unquote. But I kind of wanted something different for myself, and I just want to be that example to be able to show that you can do a number of different things. It doesn't even have to be through sports either. So
That's right. That's right. Can you share a little bit more? That was well done. Well done. But when the title of the show is Unwritten Stories of Significance, it's a story of yours which is significant, it's powerful, but there's young men out there, young Black men, that just want to know that there is hope. And there is hope,
for
but
sure.
some of us don't want to share the story, that sometimes it's uncomfortable to share or it's hard conversation. But if you can just share a little bit what it was like growing up there, like what was your mother was always fearful for, like being a mom with five boys in an area that is so hard sometimes.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, growing up in like these areas that are privy to high violence, I'm like, the fact is that there's going to be a lot of times where you're dealing with drugs, guns, um, and like just different types of violence, whether that be run-ins with the police or whatever the case might be. And like, just for my mom, I know looking through her eyes, like, and seeing a lot of this stuff happening to like other members of the community and whatnot, I'm sure that for her and having her little boys obviously was something that was quite daunting. And that's kind of stuff that like I was pretty much growing up in and seeing, like, so um like I said, I never really let it consume me, but I know there was people that it did consume, but I don't blame them. I don't blame anybody that it might have happened to, or like who might have went down that path, because in my opinion, a lot of the times is that like the cities and whatnot don't necessarily give young Black youth opportunities to actually grow within themselves through
Yes.
other outlets that aren't either sports or music. And a lot of times, who we're looking up to in these communities are like the rappers and the athletes that only show us one area in which that we're able to kind of walk down. And it's just tough growing up in that situation, because a lot of times you're going to be privy to like fast money and fast commodities that can be attained through like obviously the wrong things. But this is also, it goes there's a lot of layers to it, I want to say,
Yeah.
that
Hmm.
that would be very tough to like obviously uncover in one session. But at the basis of it all, we've kind of been conditioned to essentially like look up to these people that are doing these fast things. And in a lot of these marginalized communities, mine included, a lot of people felt privy to that just simply because they want to be like everyone that they see on TV. So yeah, definitely growing up with a lot of that violence and seeing that on a daily basis, or not, well, a daily basis, but in certain instances,
Yes.
enough that it would put you in a different limelight once you see something like, so um, that's essentially what it was. And growing up in that situation, I just look back on it now, and I kind of just told myself when I was younger that I don't want to go down that same road, and I try to show the same thing to my little brothers as well. So
Well, you're doing it right now, honey. You're doing with how you've achieved success within your academics.
thank you.
You're doing it every single day, Brandon, every single day. I'm gonna ask you a tough one again. Have you ever
Mm.
lost any of your friends or anyone that you know to gun violence?
Oh yes, I did. It was a community member that I did know, um, and it was really tough. It was
Yes.
really tough to the community. Um, it was not the first time that it had happened, but it
Mm.
was more so like as far as like who I knew personally, and it was really tough for the community, and it was something that really rocked everything up as well. It was just like I could try to find the words to explain like
I know.
what it means for something like that to happen, but
Mhm.
with the words that I know, I wouldn't even be able to do it. It's just a feeling of grief and pain that kind of like it swells through the community, and the magnitude of it all kind of like goes out as if like a bomb had kind of just dropped. And it's yeah, it was a really tough time.
Wow, you said that so well. Wait till you look at this. Wait till when you record this show, you look back. You're gonna realize how your words just go so to the heart. And that was so, so well said, my love. We've
Thank you.
only got a minute left before we go to break. Quickly, your mom and what she means to you.
My mom is my world. That is the easiest way that I can really describe it. If I didn't have my mother, it's the way that the things that she does for me and how she consoles me in times of need is I don't even know what I would really do. Um, she's taught me so much about like self-preservation and determination and perseverance. I can really attribute a lot of the stuff that I'm doing just to seeing her on a daily day basis, and just seeing what she's gone through from such young eyes, but being able to actually analyze them and recreate them in some of the things and actions and groups and programs that I'm a part of now. And just being able to kind of like push that out is like almost as if like I'm a living embodiment of my mother. I just that's
Yes,
the best way to say it. Yeah. Like I'm
yes.
everything that she radiates, I'm radiating it through to everyone else, that everything else that I've been engaged with and whoever I engage with and whoever I communicate with or whatever the case might be. So when you see me, you see my mom. That's literally that's what it
Wow.
is.
And on that note, Brandon Bernard, we'll be right back, guys. Stay tuned.
Gotcha.
Welcome back to Unwritten Stories of Significance with Brandon Bernard. Brandon, I was speechless. I wanted to get in there and just go, "Ooh, that little mummy stuff that we mothers love to do with our kids." But I didn't want to take away from that incredible, incredible interview that you just did there. That story was amazing. Off
Thank you.
camera, you talked about your mom, and I want you to go back and share what you shared with me so the viewers can know how important moms are, parents are, but moms are.
Yeah, I think mothers are extremely important. As I was saying off camera, my mother is my rock, literally. The amount of lessons that she's taught me, um, the way that she consoled me when I need to be consoled, and like even down to like teaching me how to become a man or a reputable man in a variety of situations. Like I just feel like mothers have to be held to such a standard because they do all the things that go unnoticed. And that's one of the biggest parts that I think that we really have to champion our mothers, because a lot of time they don't get credit for a lot of things they do simply because they're supposed to do it, quote unquote. But I feel like even in those situations, we can still show them our gratitude and just love them, to be honest, because that's what I try to do with my mom.
That's why when my son asks me what I want for Mother's Day, I say it within budget, but I go all out. I go all out,
No,
but
for
only
sure. You
with
deserve it.
oh yeah, on food. Oh, well, I love to eat, but anyway, that's another story. It's all about Brandon. But hey, thank you so much. Thank you, sweetheart, from my heart. All right, my love, mentors. And I want to bring this name to air because you mentioned him along with your mom. But if I'm giving his name respect here and pronouncing it right, Paul Walwyn.
Yeah, that's
Why
correct.
did you mention him in the pre-interview as being one of your mentors?
Because he literally really was. When I was younger, he was one of my first basketball coaches. He was probably literally the person that taught me how to play basketball. But on top of that, he was also teaching me about the benefits of actually taking different opportunities and also showing me literally what it literally means to be a man, like a number of lessons, just different instances in which he take us out of the area and spending money out of his own pocket to ensure that we're having a good time and whatnot, and really just taking not only me but a lot of the other younger guys in my age group under his wing and kind of just tutoring us and showing us a variety of different things and how to literally like be upstanding citizens. So I really have to uh, tip my hat to him because yeah, he's done a lot for me and he's been really monumental in my life.
Well, too, hon, you also got to give yourself a pat on the back because when you give somebody information or guidance, some people don't take it. But what
Yeah,
you've done is that you've taken it, you've applied it, and you've moved it forward.
for sure.
So that you got to give yourself a pat on the back too.
Thank you. I'll try to.
Yes, yeah, there you go. There you go, honey. There you go. Your mission is to inspire youths, right? You're taking your courses there and getting your degree in communications there at McMaster
Great.
University. But within our pre-interview, we're talking about that you want to inspire youths. And you're also, I believe, well, if I understand this right, correct me if I'm wrong, one of the founding members there of the Student Success, the Black Student Success.
That is
So it's,
correct. Yeah.
yeah, so, okay, thank you, awesome. So why is that so important for you all to put that together, that great platform in a university? And how did that all derive? Like, how did it come about?
Yeah, no, for sure. So, the Black Student Success Center was something that was created through the Anti-Racism Advisory Group and its workings within what happened during 2020 amidst the entire racial uproar with the murder of George Floyd.
That's right.
Um, so what came of that was a systemic review of the university and whatnot, and one of the things that came out of it was the Black Student Success Center. Another thing that came with that was the Black Student Athlete Council, which is the group that you were alluding to just now.
Okay.
And I was privy enough to be one of the founding members of it, as well as one of the executive members. Um, and yeah, essentially it's a group that reaches out and creates events while also holistically trying to apply different framework to ensure that there's no anti-racism, anti-black racism happening at McMaster, as well as adhering to any of the needs of Black student athletes and students.
Okay. Now there's a picture that we have there of you grouping one with some students and you had a chance to speak. When was that?
Oh yes, indeed. So that event actually was with Paul Walwyn, and he had invited me to come and just speak about some of what it means to be a university athlete, but also what it means to actually persevere and have hard work and just kind of what it all dials into as far as like being an athlete, but also being like someone that can be looked towards to actually create different types of change and whatnot. So that event was great. It was at one of the neighboring communities in Flemington Park. And yeah, it was a great opportunity. I got to speak to some youth and as well as coach them and run some basketball drills with them and whatnot. So it was a really good opportunity. Yeah.
Awesome. I didn't want to forget that picture. That's why I wanted to bring it up on air
Oh
and
no, for sure.
part
Yeah.
of the story. But I really want to amplify the platforms that you have founded along with your members there, your team. Um, why is it okay? George Floyd actually opened up a catalyst, like he literally opened up a bag of conversations. This underground, like we talk about it, but we don't really talk about it or do anything about it. So when you hear what goes down and they did a review, how did you feel, or what is your mission towards it? If you can just amplify it more, because you really want to bring more of this to air.
No, for sure. I mean, just like anyone else, I think the news about George Floyd was very. I think it was sad, to be honest.
Yes,
If I can speak, yeah, truthfully, it was
please,
quite sad.
please.
But one thing that I like to really like say in instances like these is that the past, the like, okay, how do I say it? So essentially, like, no matter what the situation is, we can always grow towards the future, if that
Yes,
makes sense.
yes, it
So
does.
what's happening in the present is literally giving us an opportunity to grow towards the future, and also from that, in the present we can also learn from the past. So from what happened with George Floyd, as much as it was a catalyst and it was extremely sad, I'm hoping that everyone has necessarily learned from that situation and has continued to make advances into like fixing a lot of the anti-black racism that is happening. And that is one of the things that I champion and try to like move forward with as a black man in the present that has somewhat of a voice that can change some of these things, whether it be in the small community that I am in McMaster or have it grow into something bigger in the future. So a lot of our mission at McMaster with BSAC, the Black Student Athlete Council, is essentially to just create a framework that will allow Black students going forward to feel comfortable on campus and have someone that they can speak to if they ever feel that there's any that problems that arise, like that stems from their skin color or whatever the case might be. So that's a lot of like what my goals are essentially, and my mission statement when it comes to like a lot of the work that I'm doing with that group at Mac. And that's kind of something that I want to build for the future, and ensure that it has longevity and it's something that doesn't necessarily dissipate either.
No, wow, my God. You got to be proud of yourself, my love. You really, really got to be proud of yourself, right?
Yeah, I guess, yeah,
Yes, yes, because it takes guts and courage to stand up. It's
for
not an
sure.
easy thing to do, Brandon. It's not easy, and you're doing it. You're doing it with your voice, your presence, and in action. And that is powerful. That is so, so powerful. So now when you graduate come April 23, what is it that you're going to do on the outside with
That's a
what you'd
great
love to
question.
do?
So that's something that I've definitely been thinking about a lot. But I definitely want to, I want to continue the work that I'm doing and
Yeah,
whatever aspect that might be, whether that be in a corporation that I'm working in, whether that be another not-for-profit organization, or just for myself alone. I think that a lot of not only the activism, but also speaking to Black youth specifically, and kind of just showing them that like there's different options and paths in this life that can be sought out and found if you just look, and kind of taking that bubble from around their head that has kind of been placed on them by the city of Toronto and whatnot. Not to
well,
send any shots towards the city
no,
of
no, no,
Toronto.
that's it's a conversation, my friend, and you can talk on
Yeah,
unwritten stories of
but
significance.
for sure, for sure. But yeah, I think there's just a bubble of violence that's currently taking place, and I just want to kind of show youth that there's another option and another path that they could potentially take, and not have to go down that treacherous path.
When you look in the mirror, well said, hon, well said, well said. When you look in the mirror, what do you see, Brandon? What do you see when you look in the mirror?
When I look in the mirror, I see how would I say? I see when I look in the mirror, I see my younger self. I think I see my
Ooh,
younger self, and when I see my younger self, I tell him that I'm proud, and I'm very proud of him. I think that's one thing that I I definitely have been kind of thinking about a lot lately,
yes.
and just seeing that perseverance as well, and knowing that like at any moment I could have stopped, but I didn't, and I'm very happy with myself for doing that, because there was many times that I could have decided to do that and I didn't. So I see my younger self and I see perseverance when I look at myself in the mirror.
Okay, we got 20, 30 seconds. Quickly, what quote What quote would you like to leave? Or what words of wisdom, that's it, what words of wisdom would you like to leave to young people watching this phenomenal interview?
A lesson that I like to leave to young people.
What words?
Okay. Okay. You are in control of your own destiny. The past cannot be retrieved, but the future can be taken. And the present is yours to enjoy.
Wow. Okay, I know I say this, but I don't give a rip. Can you come back? When you have some time within your basketball, my friend, you've got to come back and before you graduate. And if you, whatever,
Okay,
all right, hon?
for sure.
Thank you
For sure.
so much, Brandon. Give me the heart. I do it. Give me the heart. Thank you so much, sweetheart. You're a blessing.
Thank you. No,
You're
thank you.
welcome,
Thank you.
hon. You're so welcome. Bye, hon.
Alrighty.
Bye-bye.
Bye.